So one of the biggest questions that fans have had since pretty much the announcement and reveal that Red Hulk was going to be in Captain America Brave New World and Red Hulk was going to fight Captain America, specifically Sam Wilson's Captain America, who has not taken the super soldier serum. One of the biggest questions is, well, how the heck exactly is Sam Wilson going to go up against a Hulk? And Marvel Studios did talk a little bit about Sam Wilson's new suit, and Anthony Mackie himself, the actor who plays Sam Wilson, came out and revealed that he does get a Vibranium suit from Wakanda. But even after that, a lot of people still think that even with a Vibranium suit, that's not enough to take on a Hulk. And what's interesting is Marvel kind of agrees, and in a very recent interview with Entertainment Weekly, they finally came out in this interview and answered the question. They revealed a lot about the new Red Hulk in the MCU. They revealed some details about the fight between Red Hulk and Captain America, and they addressed the question of how Sam Wilson can even survive this, and they kind of give us their plans for what they thought when going into this movie, having somebody who doesn't have the super soldier serum go up against Red Hulk. And the answer kind of isn't what you think. It's certainly not what I thought, but we'll break it down in this video. Now, the article, like I mentioned, is from Entertainment Weekly. It's titled Seeing Red: How the New Captain America Turned Harrison Ford into the Red Hulk exclusive. And literally, the first sentence, the first paragraph of this states, when you introduce someone like Red Hulk to the mix of your Captain America movie, you must ask yourself, how can our hero hold his own? So they go right into it. They straight up ask the question that everybody has been thinking about, and they continue and they state, Marvel fans saw how Tony Stark, in a massive Hulkbuster mech suit, and even a literal god like Thor, struggled in hand-to-hand combat with Bruce Banner's aggressive alter ego. So, how can Sam Wilson, the new Cap, who prides himself on being a non-super-powered superhero, not become instant roadkill? And that is actually a logical assumption, that the Hulk would simply just beat him to death, even Harrison Ford's Red Hulk. And that's just the obvious assumption. And right here, Marvel admits it as well. Executive producer Nate Moore acknowledges it. He says, as soon as we decided this was the story we were going to tell, we realized there was a big hurdle. He says, if he, Sam Wilson, takes a punch, his head's going to go flying. In which, yeah, no kidding. And they talk about the answer, which is only kind of an answer, and I'll explain what that means as we get into it. The article states, the answer, gotta love a Wakanda-made Vibranium wingsuit. That will somewhat level the playing field. I say somewhat because it's a Red Hulk, Nate Moore states. He continues to say, what are you going to do? We're very conscious of not having the movie feel disingenuous, so giving Sam equipment to survive is different than giving Sam equipment to succeed. So very interesting and kind of a twist take here. The suit that he's supposed to get, the Vibranium suit, isn't actually intended to make him defeat Red Hulk. Rather, it's just meant to help him survive. And I think that's actually a really good move because it's very realistic. We've talked about this a few times on the channel, and I've read some comments thinking the same thing. Well, even with a Vibranium suit, Hulk can still just jump on him or grab him and start throwing him on the ground over and over like the regular Hulk did to Loki in the Avengers film. Is the Vibranium suit really going to help Captain America that much? Yes, it can absorb energy, we assume, if it's like the Black Panther suit, and release it, but going back into this article, they do state that it's not really about defeating the Red Hulk. They continue and state, this was just one of the big questions the Marvel team had to answer when adding the Red Hulk to their sprawling roster of comic book characters. Then they talk a lot about kind of the plot of Captain America Brave New World and how they created Red Hulk for Harrison Ford. And we'll talk about that, but they then go on again to talk about Sam Wilson fighting Red Hulk. They state, the sequence isn't confined to one setting either. Speaking about the fight between Captain America and Red Hulk, they state, it tracks across multiple different environments. Again, they had to think, how do we keep Sam alive, even with the benefit of Wakandan tech? It came down to Sam's new wingsuit and, of course, his cap shield. Dan Cox, the visual effects supervisor, said, we had to choreograph the fight sequences to allow him to constantly be using those as basically 2 additional limbs so that he can take the Hulk punches from time to time. but he does everything he can to avoid those in any way. You'll see it in the action sequence. It's not fun when he gets hit. So right here, they're even admitting, even though he has the Wakandan tech, when he gets hit, he still seemingly gets very hurt, as in it's not fun when he gets hit. And it seems like the strategy for Captain America going into this fight is to simply try to stay away from Red Hulk the best he can, using his wings and the new Vibranium tech that he has. And we've seen in the trailer that he breaks the sound barrier, so he's very fast. His suit allows him to be pretty agile. But with a Hulk, that could only do so much. The Hulk can jump super far. He's very quick, very powerful, and I imagine once the Hulk grabs you, or really anybody, it'd be really hard to get away, if you even survive the beating. But Marvel admits right here, basically, Sam Wilson can't defeat Red Hulk just 1v1. So the Vibranium suit is basically designed to just help him survive. But now, a new question arises. How exactly does Red Hulk get defeated? There's some good theories out there, like he goes too radioactive. The Hasbro Captain America Brave New World Marvel Legends Red Hulk Deluxe action figure description reads this: a monster of Samuel Stern's making, Red Hulk is an incredibly strong and formidable foe. His skin radiates intense heat, burning everything he touches. And we've seen this in the trailer. We've seen things burning around him, and we've seen his hand removed from a surface, and left on that surface is basically a burn print from his hand. This is him giving off gamma rays, which do increase when his anger rises, and it can make him look like he's on fire. So some theories state that he could become too radioactive and essentially explode and kind of defeat himself. We're not really sure which way Marvel is going to go with it, but Red Hulk, or Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, kind of defeating himself makes a little bit more sense than Captain America beating him. Because again, like the article stated, the whole thing with Sam Wilson is that he's not going to take the super soldier serum, and we've seen that emphasis in the trailers already where he says, "You're right, I'm not Steve Rogers." So as far as Marvel answering that big question for us, they basically state, yeah, even with the suit, Sam Wilson kind of can't defeat the Red Hulk. And they say when he gets hit, it hurts. And I imagine if the Vibranium suit can absorb energy, perhaps it could kind of absorb some gamma radiation or whatever Marvel chooses to go with that the Red Hulk is giving off. Maybe he can shoot it back at him and deliver a pretty big hit, but we'll still have to wait and see on that. But like I said, this article does talk a lot more about the overall movie. Here's a part that I really like that they talk about because it confirms something big about the Avengers that they haven't publicly revealed to us yet in any of the trailers. The article states, Red Hulk is a character the Marvel team tracked for some time before landing on Captain America Brave New World as the film that would bring him into the MCU. It began with The Incredible Hulk, in which Ross, then a general in the US military, spent all his time chasing Bruce Banner, then played by Edward Norton. For Ross to become the very thing that he once loathed felt like meaty material. What we liked was this notion of a man who is trying to do the best he can, but can't quite outrun the demons of his past, Nate Moore explains. Turning a guy who hunted Hulks into a Hulk himself makes him more than an antagonist, it makes him a tragic character. And I do really like that a lot, but here's where it gets pretty cool. They state, it also served the narrative between Sam and Ross. The president initially welcomes the new Captain America to the White House with the task of reconstituting the Avengers, but they later find themselves at odds, both politically and morally, when this global conspiracy kicks off. Moore points to the Secret Empire comic book arc. It's the notion of a guy who believes an ideal, realizing that ideal is not always held up to the same standards by other people, and feeling really betrayed by where the American government had gone. While Brave New World is not adapting Secret Empire, Moore recognizes the intrigue in Sam sparring with the president while cloaked in the colors of the American flag. The Red Hulk is the cherry on the sundae because then you get to have a physical manifestation of that. So I do really love that. It's Captain America versus the President of the United States. The conflict is very real, and like they confirmed here, and we've seen it with non-publicly released trailers that they showed at D23, President Ross does task Sam Wilson with putting together a new Avengers team, which of course is something that we're definitely going to need going into Avengers Doomsday. And to top this all off, they do talk about how different Red Hulk will be from the Hulk. They specifically designed him to be different. The article states that they didn't want Red Hulk to be a visual copy of Hulk Prime. It wasn't just a color change, it's a whole different character. They dug into the specificities of silhouette, physique, facial expressions, color shades, and even haircuts from the comics. And this might be kind of sad for some of you, but they do say there was even potential for a mustache with Ross's transformation. What could have been? They do state that there is art and concept designs of him with the mustache, which might be revealed one day, but it doesn't look like the mustache makes it to the main screen, especially because Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross doesn't have a mustache, and there's even that part in the trailer where he says they told him to lose the mustache or lose the election. But speaking of the differences, they state that they tried to make him stand a little bit more upright and have a bigger, broader chest and feel a little bit different and maybe slightly more intimidating through his more athletic posture. Speaking of Red Hulk, that is. They state there's the anger and everything that goes into that, but Julius wanted him to feel more tactical than the Green Hulk. It's Thaddeus Ross, right? He's military. He is trained. Julius, and that is Julius Onah, the director, gave us the reference of a bear in terms of how he poses himself on all fours. Even during the action sequences, it's extremely aggressive in a different way in terms of slightly more methodical actions. So that kind of adds even more to the question, how the heck is Sam Wilson going to defeat Red Hulk if he is more tactical than what they call Hulk Prime, which of course is Mark Ruffalo's, we'll say, older Hulk, the one from the original Avengers and Age of Ultron, not Professor Hulk. But either way, it's all sounding like it's pretty good. Hopefully it actually does end up being pretty good. But go ahead, let me know in the comments down below. Are you excited for this? Does this make you more excited, or are you still kind of on the fence or think it might be kind of bad? Let us know your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things with the MCU. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.